And it's LLC time, people. Put down your pencils, pay attention. Here we go. Another fun week. We've all got a competition under us now. So now we all have something to talk about. Just kidding. Oh wait, I love Shoes does it, so he can still sit on the sideline. So you
Nope,
can join
still
the
been
party
chilling.
soon.
Yep.
So anyhow, Clyde, how are you tonight?
School officially
Telling
starts
y'all, in the
tomorrow.
next
So
five
this
to
week
ten
has been
years,
this week has been interesting.
Oh, got it. I love Shoes. How are you? That's funny. However you're sitting, it actually looks like the sun is like hitting you. Like actually.
It is.
Shut
I'm
up.
sitting outside in Oakland,
We're
feeling good
in
about
Texas.
myself.
There's no sun.
You gotta do what you
Yeah,
gotta
is
do to
that
avoid
better?
the snow.
Do the
Right?
Buster Rhymes? Yeah. I'm good. Things have been really good. Yeah, the sun really is seeming to hit me with this weird light, but yeah, I'm good. I'm ready for things to start, and they are starting.
Welcome to the circus.
Yeah. I mean,
Governor.
I,
Oh, just
I
kidding.
gotta go to I gotta go to China, so we'll just yeah, the circus is gonna.
Hey,
You
you
want some French fries with your wham burgers? You're gonna
hey,
go to
you might be
China.
listen, you might be better off in China right about now.
Uh, yeah, okay. Anyway,
Governor, there's nothing up there. I've looked already too.
Hmm.
anyway,
Governor,
Hello,
how
good
are you
people.
tonight?
I'm doing just fine. I'm doing just fine. Um, it's either it's like a week in January or a week in February, and it seems to be more common now where you get back from a trip and all hell breaks loose, and you blink and you're supposed to get on the bus tomorrow. And it's this is one of those weeks. We get back. Thankfully, the meet was on Friday. We fly back Saturday. Sunday, cold front rolls in. Monday, Martin Luther King Day. Tuesday, Snowmageddon Part Two. So no school. Wednesday, today, school starts. Thursday, what are you gonna do? You're in no man's land. Friday, get on the bus. You
Oh,
know,
look, here we
Keep it
are.
rolling.
yeah, keep it rolling.
Now,
everybody's rested.
now I love shoes. How long will you be in China?
I'm not going to China yet, but I'm saying it's dawned on me that I have to get a visa and I have to get myself prepared to go to China in a month, right? Isn't that
Ah.
when Indoor Worlds is?
Oh, okay. So you mean from Indoor World?
Yeah. So like,
Okay.
like it's one thing to like, oh, things are about to ramp up, and I'm thinking about, this domestic thing and that domestic thing. Like, and so all these political things and people yelling and screaming about this, that, and the third. I'm like, listen, I have to go get a visa in this climate and go to China in this climate. So, you know,
Well, that won't necessarily be fun, and I understand, but the by the time you return, like by the time February ends, you may or may not have more rights in China. So, you know,
we
extend the
shall
visa.
see. We shall see. I'm definitely not going to China and staying. So
I hear they
I
pay
don't
well
know
over there.
why people like I don't know why people like these sunglasses. I don't like them at all.
You like all sunglasses from Oakley. That is your life
The,
gig.
yes, but these are not Oakleys. They're 100%, and I think they are at least 98% trash.
I don't know.
Oh
Anyway,
my
Is that the
goodness.
prime line?
no, it's just a line that they got hot last year. I'm pretty sure they will not be a sponsor of the show after my last comment, but that's okay. That's okay. I think I am going to start. I'm going to start soliciting some supporters for some funding. Why not? We'll start
Oh
doing
my
start
God.
doing some fake commercials.
Oh my
I'll be here
goodness.
for it.
I have two words
Oh,
for you. Swap meet.
'Yes.
100%.
Yes. Oh my
I
God.
should put on
Powerade,
my
baby.
son's gamer headphones.
Oh
Look
my
like
Oh
I'm an
Lord.
air traffic
God.
controller.
That's exactly what you look like.
Yeah,
Wheel.
for sure.
The wheels are off, guys.
Sorry.
Wheels are off. Put them back on.
This is what happens when you put me outside of my environment. See, I'm recording in a different room in the house. There's strange things in here to play with.
Anyhow, all right. Talking about strange things. Football. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
say football because it's not just the collegiate and it's not the pro. Just football was weird.
Which one you want to get into first?
Yes.
I want to start this. We're in a bizarro world when the entire country was rooting for Notre Dame to score.
Mm-hmm.
The entire I think this has been a revelation for Ohio State fans that they just found out that everybody hates them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they realize that. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think until the 2 weeks running up to the national championship did they realize that no, they literally are the new Alabama as the most hated fan base in the country.
Yes. Yes.
Right now, I will say this: I think a great deal of the tertiary fandom for Notre Dame was based on the fact that Marcus Freeman is not hard on the eyes. I've heard that from too many people. Right? They don't really know football, but they think he's cute. Fine, but I will say we are definitely in a bizarro world when Notre Dame is the voice of reason and people are rooting for Notre Dame. It's just, I mean, it's a testament to Marcus Freeman, I'll say that. But it was very interesting watching the whole thing. And listen, Ohio State tried to fumble that bag.
Well, I will go on the record, and in my defense, I grew up on a very tiny island. Okay, so some of my earliest memories of being into college football is watching Raghib Ishmael run that return back that got called back.
Mm-hmm.
One of the most unbelievable things I'd ever seen. Um, so yeah, I was a Notre Dame fan. I was not a fan of Florida State. I was not a fan of Nebraska. But now that I'm here, I understand why. Yeah, I get it. So um but yeah, I'm just glad it was a game. I'm glad that it turned out to be there was something. I think that third down play call by Chip Kelly to go on the ISO and chuck it up there for Jeremiah Smith to go after it. I mean, ballsy, yes, but I also feel like if that play doesn't work,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, whatever Notre Dame figured out in that fourth quarter, man, I was like, whoa, okay. And it was the momentum clearly was on their side. Um, I mean, so many weird things. I mean, Kirk Herbstreit almost broke down into tears.
Oh my God. I feel like he's related to Ryan Day.
I was like, what?
Like by the end,
Yeah,
he was basically talking about how like their wives are friends and he's a really close. And I was like, wait, time
man,
out, bro.
listen.
This
I
is
was
too
like,
much.
yeah,
This is too
yeah,
much. Like,
yeah.
because the thing is, he didn't have to say all that. Like, he was going to get a pass. He went to Ohio State and
Mm-hmm.
played quarterback for
Mm-hmm.
them.
Yeah,
Like, we get it. You're doing a
yeah.
great job of being professional. Don't throw it all away by
Oh
telling us
man.
that, like, you was rooting for Ryan Day from the beginning and, like, you're glad it turned out this way. Like,
Well,
come on, man.
the soliloquy on his part, like bringing folks into the world of Ohio State and how the gloom and doom of losing to Michigan and what they went through and all the vitriol that Ryan Day had to deal with. And like, damn, okay, we get it, Hurt. We get it, Kirk. We get it.
Well, so Herb Street is always extra, and he's like the biggest Ohio State homer that there is, and
Yes, he is.
you just have to know that and go in. Here's the thing: I was definitely rooting for Notre Dame. That is definitely a foreign
Felt
space.
weird, didn't it?
Yeah, no, it did, but as I have declared for years on many, many platforms, I don't have teams. I root for players, I root for coaches. And I am a huge fan of Marcus Freeman. So wherever he has been or will be in the future, I will root for his teams or his programs. So yeah, I was disappointed in ultimately the end result, but I was thrilled to see them battle back and make it a game. I think Marcus Freeman won the adjustments battle, in the second half, and showed how good of a coach he really was, and all that was fun and great to see. And the baby boy has arrived. Here's here's the point about just the college football season that we all just witnessed, that I'm not going to give up for a long time, and I think people really need to appreciate. It's literally the best college football season that you've seen. And I'll tell you why. Because it was the first honest one. Again, if we had a normal order, Ryan Day is not only he's not only not the national championship coach, he's fired. In a normal order, Ryan Day would be fired. Because after the Michigan loss, they wouldn't have made a 14
They
playoff.
wouldn't have made the 14
They
playoff.
damn sure wouldn't have made the 2-team playoff, and the best team in the country, which is clearly Ohio State, would have been no part of any kind of championship presentation. So we're finally at a place where college football is legitimately having a postseason, and we got to find out who the best team in the country was unequivocally. We didn't get a human or computer generated, final between Oregon and Georgia, which looking at it now would have been laughable. But everybody would have been okay with it, and everybody would have accepted it. So I love the current model. I'm here for it. However imperfect it is, it gave us the actual national champion. And Notre Dame is just, was overmatched on talent, and that was obvious. But here's the thing. Here's the biggest takeaway, and y'all can score me if you want to. The 12-team playoff is absolutely done. Ain't no more SEC dominance. That's done. That's done.
Well, for the biggest homer in the world, Feinbaum, to declare
oh yeah,
the
Big Ten is the
SEC
best.
dominance. Yeah.
Is it the Big Ten? Because the Big Ten won the last 2 national championships.
Yeah, they did. They did.
You gonna do the show for Daddy?
Oh, man.
Oh, that was right on time, Kai. Right on time.
If you were watching Clyde during his soliloquy,
It's not.
I mean, you would have gotten vertigo,
It's
like
not.
serious vertigo, because
No. No.
it's so,
Yes, Kai.
No.
Kai
Yes,
keeps
I
popping
said
out of the
yes.
screen at you.
No.
Yes.
No, sir. Not me. No.
Yes,
Oh,
you.
my God.
No.
All you.
No.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's too much.
This is
I
why
love
you
it.
have to watch this show, because there may be a child that comes on and takes over.
Yeah. So obviously,
I'm gonna mess everybody up. Next week, I'm gonna have Zach on and just have it on my lap.
Oh, that would be beautiful.
Just
That'd
break
be
the
beautiful.
chair altogether.
So I agree with Clyde from the standpoint that this was the most exciting playoff that we've seen. But I do feel that the seeding protocols are going to change. You cannot tell me that they're not going to change, because there's some powers that be that are just going to be like, okay,
Yeah, we can't let that happen again.
we can't let this happen again. That's just my feeling.
It'll be interesting.
Even Kai knows they're not going to change.
Well, here's I'll say this: they can't change
I'll say this too.
until they can't change till after this next season, because they are literally contractually obligated to 2 years for sure.
Too much.
Yeah, tell them.
See, it's only funny because none of our kids are that age anymore.
Right.
We don't
Right.
have to deal with that.
Like we've all dealt with this. You know,
Hey, he in
I have
school
been
now,
I have
so
I have been on a job interview, like, phone call, and it's time to be on dad's lap.
yeah, no,
I love it.
he in school now, so it's just accelerating.
Yeah, it's just
See, now all of his leadership qualities based on his parents are going to come out, and next thing you know, you're going to be getting phone calls from the school about how he's he has created a gang at school.
Oh,
taking
I'm
over.
already waiting for him to get that. I'm gonna need you to come get this boy call. No, they
Yes.
love him so far.
Yes.
Oh
Because
goodness.
he's young and bright and exuberant. Uh-huh.
But to the seating thing, obviously contractual obligations, they're not going to change next year. But even once that's over, it doesn't. I don't think they're going to change at all because the people who have interest in this are still beholden to the idea that conference championships matter.
No,
And if
I agree, but I
Yeah.
just think that the conference championships, what's going to happen is the conference champions will be guaranteed a spot in the 12. And I think eventually they're going to use their rankings to seed them.
Mm-hmm.
and that would be
That's what I think is going to happen eventually.
that would be fine, but then then you're going to be aiming not to even play in the game because I already got the bye.
By the way, did you see, was it the ACC, the announcement they made?
Oh my God. Listen, here's what I'm going to tell you. Both of their two options are spectacularly bad. One is the regular season champion doesn't play in the conference championship. The regular season champion gets a bye and they're all good. And two versus three is for the conference championship. That's special.
We can't have a repeat of Miami. We can't have Miami.
This is
Nope.
this is what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
It's wild, man. It's wild. I mean,
But-
I have no words.
On to the NFL, which I'm sorry, this gonna go a little while.
Well, okay. I asked this question: can we make sure that we save the Bills Ravens for last?
Yes.
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Governor, which game would you like to start with?
Let's start with Kansas City and Houston.
What's to even say about that game? Kansas City's the better team, and listen, I'm not into the conspiracy stuff. That's not me.
There is no conspiracy.
No, there is none.
Listen, here, I'm gonna end the conspiracy right here. Look, the Chiefs, since Patrick Mahomes has been playing football for the Chiefs, have had 11 playoff games. 11. Okay. They've had fewer penalties than like called for them. Like meaning they have gotten the advantage in a penalty 0 times in those 11, and there's been one where it was dead even.
Sure. And that's
what are we doing?
That's an intelligent and righteous and truthful response for all the people that are on that page.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the amount of penalties. It's the type and the moment.
The situational penalties.
It always seems to give them what they need. And
you know what? It always
weird.
is gonna listen. I didn't realize how many Toyota 4Runners there were out there until I bought one. Okay? People see these calls because the Chiefs are on television somewhere, somehow, every week,
No,
right?
that's true.
And because the way they play now, if we go back to 3 years ago when the Chiefs were blowing everybody out, right?
Mhm.
Nobody cared because nobody noticed. But because they play all of these tight games and they win all of these tight games, there's these conversations. Nobody wants to hear about the fact that like that happens. Look, the Jordan rules happen in football for every team that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you are the betting favorite, I will be willing to bet you. if you go back and track it, if you are the betting favorite, you probably get the most calls for you. Because at the end of the day, the refs are human too. The refs are fans. Nobody wants to admit this, but you could call holding on every play. You could call illegal hands to the face on just about every play, right?
I think obviously
Ain't nobody going to convince me that Patrick Mahomes has made the AFC Championship game 7 years in a row in any part because of the referees.
I mean, we're focusing on 3 particular plays, okay?
They were egregious.
The roughing the passer,
Egregious.
right? The
Which is the one where the 2 dudes from the
they hit each
Texans
other.
ran
They hit
into
each
each other.
other.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
So
he
he'd already
slid
started his slide.
way late.
Right.
When he slid way late.
Now,
At the end of the day, we've
As-
all seen
yes,
calls that bad
absolutely.
in every single week.
Yeah.
There's at least one of those in every game. And you're just like, and you say to yourself, because I do this sitting on my couch. I'm sorry, I'm just yelling and screaming, but I sit on my couch and I'm like, how can you call that and how can you miss that? Like every
Mhm.
time they miss face mask calls, I'm shocked. Ray Charles can see every single face mask because the human body will tell you that a face mask happened.
Yeah.
Like your
And if I can
head
see it on
moves
the TV,
unnaturally.
If I can
Right.
see it on the TV,
Right? There's 8 refs or whatever at the game. Like as soon as somebody's head moves like that, you know it's a face mask because that's the only thing that causes that.
Right. I mean, every D end that is seeing the running back go by him and that puts their hand out like this is literally signaling to the ref whether he's
Hey.
getting held or not. Hey, I'm being
Watch me.
right, and it happens every play,
Every play.
every single
listen,
play.
at the end of the day, with all due respect to our Houstonians, no one wanted to see the Ravens in the next round anyway. So we're gonna get the game we wanted to get, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. You know, I feel like the only thing in that game that was just like, all right, I'm on Mars right now, was the safety at the end of the game.
Oh, the bad beat.
Oh
See,
my
The bad
goodness.
beat was awesome.
Now I will say this.
Oh, you're here for the conspiracy on the bad beat.
I don't think NFL games are scripted. But I do think that players, coaches, officials, and the NFL league, when they make the phone calls, everybody is aware of the line.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Was it an accident? Absolutely. Was it, has this happened before? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It was just really odd that the line was 9 and all of a sudden we go from 11 to 9
11
basically
to
the last
9.
play.
9 and
The
a
last
half.
play of the game.
The line was
It was
9
9 and a half, yes. Right. And so you're just like, all right, man, these are the things that happen that make people think that sports are fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, but see, that was wildly entertaining.
Now, why did Troy Aikman make that statement that Marv Albert, is it Marv Albert he said, is somewhere smiling?
Oh no,
Well,
it
because
wasn't.
Marv Albert-
It wasn't
Al
Marv
Michaels.
Albert. It was
Al
Al
Michaels.
Michaels.
Al
Because
Al Michaels.
Al
He
Michaels
was one of the original advocates for
Yeah.
gambling.
Yeah,
He was the
he's
advocates for what?
gambling, and he's
Oh, okay.
made comments before. And was it Rich Eisen is the first person to say these plays matter to some more than others.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Listen, my favorite thing in sports broadcasting is Scott Van Pelt's bad beat segment.
Oh, dude.
It's the best thing.
It's absolute
Listen,
comedy.
the two best things to come out of ESPN ever are Booyah and Bad Beats. There are many other really good things.
Big
but the
League. Have
two
you ever
things that-
seen that segment?
Which part? Which one?
Bad Beats.
Bad Beats.
Have you ever watched
No,
Bad Beats?
I actually haven't.
All right.
Big
Yeah.
League. It is.
Somebody's
it
got to
is-
get you in front of the TV to
Oh
watch.
my
it.
gosh.
It's
Okay.
I don't care what week it is.
Because
It's
what
the
it
funniest shit.
because what it will do, Big League, it will give you an idea of what the dark side of sports are.
Mhm.
Yes.
They have been able to pick people out of the crowd,
Yeah.
like on the winning team,
Right. All
and
the
you see
degenerates.
and you see the person go like this, Like I just lost
Uh,
my life savings.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling. And it's so pervasive that, I mean, now it's become its own thing.
No,
Like
it's crazy.
Tuesday
One of
nights.
the best bets to
Yeah.
make right now is Chiefs not to cover.
Yes.
Like in the
It's-
last 3 years, the Chiefs have covered fewer times than any other team in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why the whole safety was hilarious. The line was Chiefs minus 9.5, and they
Yep.
were going to cover, and then they gave up a safety and didn't cover.
So yeah, there's a whole lot going on between the lines, Big League, and you would have to sit with someone who knows what's happening,
Yeah.
because I'm watching this and I'm going, no, he didn't. Because immediately I go to my phone and I'm like, no, not 9.5. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Okay.
What's next?
No, here's the question.
Go ahead.
Are we happier for Saquon or sadder for the Rams?
So I'm going to say this before the brilliant one even speaks. There is no one who is sad for the Rams.
I am not sad for the Rams.
No one cares about the Rams or Sean McVay's highly intelligent photographic memory ass. Like nobody cares.
What you mean? They got
Well, no, wasn't nobody outside of that one little pocket of Carson, California, rooting for the Rams.
I mean,
That's not true.
they had their moment back in Arizona, the Forest Fire game. That's great. But nah, I mean,
okay. So here's the fun part about not being beholden to a city or a uniform. I wanted, for a bunch of different reasons, I wanted the Eagles. Like I'm on the Saquon narrative, right? Like I want to see that at some level.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me too.
But when the Rams got the ball on the last drive,
Yes.
I was all in for them ripping the hearts out of Philly. I was with them the whole time.
So here's
The
what I'll
whole
say.
time I was here for it.
In that moment, I don't even disagree with you, because my favorite shot of the entire game was when they showed the split screen of Sirianni and why can I not remember his name all of a sudden? Coach of the Rams.
McVay.
Oh yeah,
McVay.
McVay.
And of Sirianni and McVay. And I was just like, literally, if you listen to talking heads who cover the NFL, that is the brightest and the dumbest coach in the NFL.
Boy.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy.
Right? Like, and they had them, juxtaposed to each other. And the funniest part was the looks on their faces said exactly that.
Yep.
Sirianni looked like he was like
he was gonna lose his job.
Sirianni looked like, please, dear God, save me from myself. And McVay he looked like, listen, we're gonna go down here and score.
Yes,
because at the end of the day, I'm smarter than this jackwad.
And here's the thing. If you look at the plays and the calls and where people were open, that's exactly what was going to happen, except Jalen Carter wrecked the party.
Yeah, he did.
Like Jalen Carter just wrecked the party. If not for him in Stafford's face, they was going to get that pass completed and it was a wrap.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, great game. You can't let the LA team beat you in the snow on your home field.
But at the end of the day, had they lost that game, they wouldn't even have gotten beat. They would have gave the game away. Because again, somebody needs to eliminate the idea of prevent defense. You cannot play a sport of aggression not to lose. That's how Ohio State almost lost. The exact same way. Take your foot off the gas, and then you forget you are facing other gladiators. Like it's not a sport that's like that. Like, you're not going to take somebody's will and they're going to quit for a half. It's not going to happen.
So, moving on. See, all these games were emotionally conflicting for me. I feel sick for Detroit. At the same time, Jared Goff picked the worst moment to Jared Goff.
Oh,
And I like Jared.
isn't it?
I like Jared Goff. But it's like, oh my, you could see it coming like, bro, calm down. Because the only way this is gonna go left is if you do what you do. And he went full blown Jared Goff. That's the second time this year. It's only the second time this year it's happened. The first one where he threw 5 picks, they won the game magically.
They won the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh my God, not this, not now, not today.
The clock struck 12 on both Jared Goff and Sam Darnold in their last games of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like those two dudes have had monstrous seasons and have gave an entire season to believe that they are different people than their narratives have been. And then in one fell swoop of a game, they reminded you, nah, that's who they are.
Here's what I will say, and this you know, I'm gonna bring a college reference into this. Okay. What I think, or what it looks like it happened before the game, and then comes to fruition after the game. The offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator are on their way out,
Most likely.
right?
No, it's done. Both cases.
It's done. Both of them are gone.
Oh, they got hired today. That's right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Bears and Jets.
Terrible.
So you have a situation where, for the first time in decades, the Lions are given a city hope. They are motoring through the season. They're getting decimated on defense, but somehow they keep winning these games. They get to the playoffs, and finally the magic runs out, right? And, you know, when you hear talk about this being the most expensive game in Lions history, 500 plus to get in the door, right? And all the pomp and circumstance. And it was clear pretty early, in my opinion,
Oh yeah.
this ain't happening. This is not going to happen. And I mean,
it was
Jaden,
so hard to watch.
We're bad.
Watching that game was like watching a toddler play with a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this isn't going to end well.
Man.
That's actually a very good analogy. And
It was, yeah.
Can we just all simply say that Jaden Daniels is?
Oh, dude. Now, is he the greatest
Yes.
rookie quarterback in the history of the NFL?
Yes.
No, not yet.
Okay.
No.
Wait a minute. No, not yet. Rookie quarterback. Rookie season.
I know.
Who's
I
better?
understand.
There's only one legitimate contender.
Who's that?
There's more
Marino.
than one. What are you talking about?
Who?
I mean, RG3 was ridiculous his rookie year. So was
I'm
Dak.
sorry. Stop with the
We're
Dak.
talking about stop it with Dak. Dak had literally the best statistical season of any rookie. And I'm not a Dak fan at all.
What happened in the playoffs?
Listen, if that's the case, Mark Sanchez won not one but 2 playoff road games as a rookie quarterback. Like, stop it. We're not doing that.
So this is what I'm trying to say. You have to look at it in full context of all things. You can
Ben
say Mark
Roethlisberger
Sanchez
won a Super Bowl his rookie year, did he not?
No. It wasn't a rookie.
He's a second-year player?
Second year. Wasn't a rookie. Marino's rookie year and this one. That's it. And Jaden Daniels.
You can't say that's it. Because like I said, RG3 was really, really, really good his rookie.
What happened in the playoffs?
Look, that can't just be it. But all I'm saying is, listen, you don't have to. I'm on the Jaden Daniels bandwagon. I'm just not here for all the hyperbole.
But
All
it's
right.
really not hyperbole.
Here
Let me
are the
tell you
numbers.
Where I
got
go
numbers.
rapidly.
I was
Really
gonna
quick.
say.
Where I go rapidly is just like, how stupid did the Bears look?
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's where
I was
go.
on that one early. I'm like,
That's
I don't know
where
how
I
you
go.
watch Caleb Williams in college and be like, that's the guy. No, it's not. No, it's not.
So are you ready for this?
I am.
Number 10, this is in order. Ben Roethlisberger,
Okay.
going 13-0 in his rookie campaign. Took over from Tommy Maddox.
Yep.
He goes 13-0 and ends the Patriots' 21-game winning streak. Number 9 is Dak Prescott, 2016.
There you go.
Okay. 13 starts as a rookie. Earned a top seed in the NFC, right? Number 8, Russell Wilson, 2012.
I forgot
Right.
about Russ.
Yep. Number 7, Andrew Luck. Number 6, Robert Griffin III. Number 5, CJ Stroud. Number 4, Cam Newton. Okay. Number 3, Dan Marino. Number 2, Justin Herbert. Number 1, Jaden Daniels. How wild is that?
Listen, I will say this. Far too often people get anointed as things in the NFL. Jaden Daniels is a star.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
And here's the thing. Everybody keeps making excuses for Justin Herbert and talking about how talented he is and calling him great when he ain't shit but get blown out in 2 playoff games.
But to your point, statistically, regular season, that was the best season ever. His.
Yeah.
But what happened in the playoffs?
He got blown out twice. And he didn't get beat. He got blown out and threw 6 turnovers or 7 turnovers in his 2 playoff games?
No, it was bad. So Jaden Daniels has elite stats from his rookie year and 2 playoff wins on the road. And it's not really close.
No.
Listen, like I said, people get anointed with things way too early in the NFL. Jaden Daniels is a superstar.
Deserves it. Yeah.
So now we'll see if so look, Russ was on this same trajectory all the way through the Super Bowls, right? And then the second act of his career just went pew. So now it's like, does he have a Hall of Fame career to save anymore? Right?
Oh, Russ is in the Hall of Fame. Russ is going. He's going. He ain't going first ballot, but he's going.
I don't know about that. We'll see. But since it's up for savior, right?
Okay. But since we've covered the NFC, who you got next week or this weekend? I'm telling you right now, I'm taking Jaden Daniels.
Wow.
I'm going with Washington over Philly.
Wow. I'm with you. I am so with you. I want it to happen.
There's so many reasons to make that pick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, here's what I'll say. What I'm going to say is far harder to do than said. But look, they have a great defensive mind as a head coach in Washington. If they figure out how to stop Saquon from hitting home runs, I don't believe that Jalen Hurts can make enough plays running or passing to then outplay Jaden Daniels.
And he's hurt.
Right? Yep. Yes. And look, if he's like actually hurt and can't really throw the football, it's a wrap.
Oh no, his arm ain't hurt. His knee is jacked up.
So
because they won't even do the tush push anymore.
Right. He's hurt because they weren't doing the tush push.
Yeah. I think I'm on the Washington bandwagon for a week too.
All right, now, sir, since you wanted this to be last, please go, because I am so here for this one. I can't. Somebody gonna put their foot in their mouth, and I'm here for it. So go ahead.
Was it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago that I said we're at the point now in Lamar's career, if not now, when? It was either 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. And so when we start talking about this game, it was like, quarterback stats get overblown and all those things. But at the end of the day, Lamar has to win this football game. And it isn't Lamar's fault in the end, but you can't just blame the dropped 2-point conversion because there's still 90 seconds to go in the game, right?
Mhm.
They could easily have lost had Mark Andrews caught that, right? But you can go back to the 2 turnovers that Lamar had early, because what people don't get is, it's like what you were talking about earlier with penalties, right? The timing of things matter.
Mhm.
The very beginning of a football game, in lots of ways, is as important as the very end. If you start off in a must-win situation by putting your team in a deficit twice out of 3 possessions, and you're the leader, right? We put the ball in your hands, and you fumble in the bag, literally. It just starts you off so far negative that you play it uphill with your back against the wall the entire game, and nobody can be expected to be perfect in that scenario. Like, that's just, football is supposed to ebb and flow, right? It's supposed to look like tug of war. You're not supposed to start off with the flag almost at the other team's feet, right? And then, all right, now pull as hard as you can for the rest of the game. Like, it doesn't work like that. So at the end of the day, I'll just say it like it should be said. Like, playoff Lamar in a negative way is a real thing. And until he goes to a sports psychologist, until people around him accept the fact that, as much as you want to just put the ball in his hands, when cooler heads were prevailing, that is the reason you paid the going rate for Derrick Henry in the first place.
Yep.
Was this very game, so that Lamar didn't have to shoulder the burden, right? You give the ball to the other superstar and be like, yo, bruh, you handle half of this game, I'll handle the other half, and we should be good. And you put the ball solely in Lamar's hand early. He put the ball in the other team's hands twice. And now you have eliminated your ability to use Derrick Henry until you catch up. It's a problem. So, I try not to use this word, but honestly, I can't use another word. I mean, Lamar, I think, honestly, he choked to start the game. He didn't choke as a whole. But the first quarter in particular, the moment was too big. The shit was too bright. The seat was too hot. Whatever cliche you want to use, look, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York, and the expression is real simple: ball don't lie.
Mm-hmm. You want me to go?
Please.
I walked away from watching that game with a little bit of sadness. A little bit of sadness from the standpoint of, like, clearly the Ravens could move the ball at will.
Mm-hmm.
They could move the ball at will the entire game. They were clearly in another realm when it came to moving the ball. But how careless can you be? And it almost felt to me like, do you not recognize, number one, how cold it is? Number two, ball security in a playoff game? Do you not understand what one turnover can do in a playoff game when the stakes are that high, much less 3? And then you miss 2-point conversions. I mean, and the thing about it, and I'll echo the same thing I Love Shoes said. We've seen this before. We've seen Lamar do this before. And yeah, perhaps a head doctor would do some good, or perhaps some therapy. And I'm not saying this in a demeaning way whatsoever. But and let's call a spade a spade. You have one of the best running backs in your backfield. And why aren't you using him? Why do you think that, because your defense was doing the job, right? It didn't get out of control. So hold on to the ball, matriculate down the field, eat up some clock. That was the old Ravens way. And it just felt to me like there was a little bit of Russell Wilson, Seattle Seahawks. You've got the monster in your backfield, and you decide to throw a slant against the Patriots. Come on, man. So yeah,
Isn't the
I
best way to beat Josh Allen is having him not have the football?
exactly.
So
And you have the guy to do it.
So okay.
they could have ran the ball the whole game. Between the quarterback and the running back, they could have literally ran the ball every play the entire game and probably won.
Yes.
So all right. I'm glad to be hearing this from y'all. I really thought I was gonna hear something different from somebody and I was gonna get upset. So listen, there's a few. First of all, playoff Lamar,
Mhm.
like playoff Harden, like playoff others, like playoff Peyton Manning.
Oh boy.
Point guard that went to was Chris Paul. Playoff Chris Paul.
Yes. You play
Right,
Chris Paul.
right.
Also a thing.
Also a thing. But the best one is playoff Peyton Manning. It is easy to make the case that Peyton Manning is the best regular season quarterback of all time. Very easy to make that case.
I'm not sure that you could make a case for anybody else.
Anybody else?
I will make a case that in completely different statistical ways, Lamar Jackson is getting really close to that. But in the playoffs, they are literally identical. They are the same guy to this point in Lamar's career.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it's his fault. And I'm a huge Lamar Jackson fan. But here's the thing. Not only was the moment too big for him, the moment was too big for the entire brain trust of the Ravens. I'm also a John Harbaugh fan. Hell, I'm a Jim Harbaugh fan. This last year was worse. But this year, like, to your point, they were getting whatever they wanted to get.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you not run the ball? Like, it's not that hard to do.
It's not.
Even after the horrific interception, even after the stupid fumble, they gave one drive to Derrick Henry, and they went right down the field. He averaged like 8 yards a carry on that one particular drive. He scored the touchdown, and they were right back in the game. And then you stop doing it.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Lamar Jackson played horrible football, except for the last drive of the game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear about Mark Andrews. I just don't. Because the problem is the fans of Lamar Jackson are so emotionally wrapped up in his success for things that have nothing to do with football that they're allowing themselves to act like the narrative on him is somehow wrong or somehow biased or somehow racially biased. No, he just chokes in playoffs all the time. It is what it is. So there's other people. Peyton Manning got scoriated for this. Aaron Rodgers chokes in the playoffs all the time, but here's the thing. Aaron Rodgers won one, so he gets a little bit more of a pass. The Ravens were...
It's not to the end. So when Aaron Rodgers finally retires with one, then everybody's going to say, well, with that talent, he should have won more than one. And it's true.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Ravens...
John Elway was the poster child for all of this until the last 2 years of his career.
That's right. And when he won those two, he wasn't the reason they won. That was Terrell Davis.
Nope. Peyton's last one, he literally was carried to the finish line.
Yeah, he was.
Somebody on, I think it might have been Nick Wright or somebody, when Peyton Manning beat the Colts, beat the Bears with Rex Grossman on the field. Yep. Rex Grossman outplayed Peyton Manning. Go look it up. So I hope Lamar gets there one day. I think he will. But right now, it's mostly his fault. And it is what it is. Like it is. And it
I hate
sucks.
to say this. Like, sometimes it's your fault. Sometimes it's somebody else's fault. You know, all the people in the league that never won a ring because of Jordan, all right, and Tom Brady and that, right. I think, unfortunately for Lamar, it's both things. Because as long as he stays on the Ravens, which are in the AFC, he's always going to have to go through at least Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, and at worst, both.
Yeah.
And Burrow.
Right. And I was going to say, and that's just assuming that the Bengals continue to bangle and don't give Burrow enough defense. Because if Burrow has defense, like literally Lamar's got the gauntlet to go through every year. He's
Every
going
year.
to end up like Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is a first ballot Hall of Famer with almost no real hardware because he couldn't beat the players he had to beat to get to the Super Bowl.
No, that's very fair. And this is
Mhm.
the only thing. There was the only last thing I wanted to say about that particular game and the Ravens, because I like the Ravens. For the last fourth of the season, it's more than that. It's really the second half of the season. The Ravens were the number one defense.
Yep.
Yep.
Number one.
Yep.
So you had the number one defense. You have the number two running back in football right now, and you're supposed to be the guy. But for the most part, statistically, they kept Josh Allen and the crew in check.
They did.
But Josh Allen has learned to do what needs to be done to win these games. And Lamar hasn't.
The
So-
Bills turned the ball over 8 times this year.
There you go.
4% of their offensive possessions. 4%
There you go.
on the year.
And so now I'm getting the game that I wanted from day one. I'm getting Josh Allen headed to Arrowhead, where he has always played elite football. And now it's his time. If not now, when? For Josh Allen. The Washington football team versus the Bills, Super Bowl. Let's go.
I mean, you know, very quietly, the thing that happened in the Chiefs game that I don't think anybody was really paying attention to, that was kind of lost, is Travis Kelce is now ready to play football.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was the best player on the field in that game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was. He's been
And
saving it up. He ain't got but 4 or 5
absolutely.
good games in him.
Hey, you know what? That's fine, because he absolutely owns the Bills.
He does.
And I don't think that is going to change.
You got to get smart at some point.
Big league.
You know.
Oh, what are you gonna say?
All I was going to say is, like, I think the biggest issue for the Bills, and like, yes, I do think the Chiefs are going to win the game, but I think the Chiefs are going to win the game only because I think at this point in time, the only way you can beat the Chiefs is to blow them out. You have to you have to get up 2 scores and stay up 2 scores, because if the game is in the fourth quarter and is within 1 score, only an idiot bets against them.
I don't care how
at this point.
Get it done.
I just, you know, like, I'm sure it's funny. People root for greatness until they see it, and then they root against it. Right? Everybody wants to see a dynasty till it starts happening. Then they're like, nobody will see that shit again.
Oh no. You listen. You know my situation here. I'm not anti-dynasty. I really
No,
like
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about that was the broad strokes about people.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not
Right,
I'm
like nobody dislikes Patrick Mahomes or anybody on the Chiefs, right? But I think, honestly, the for the most part, the rooting interest is, we're tired of seeing the Chiefs win.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no one's ever won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
Here's a news flash, folks. The only team to play in 3 Super Bowls in a row are the Bills.
There it is. Yeah.
Right? So at the end of the day, if they win this game, that is already historical.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not here for it. Because just them winning the game will ignite the ridiculousness of Brady's not the GOAT nonsense. Like, I'm not here for it.
We can't mess with the GOAT, huh?
Not here for it.
Listen, look, Patrick Mahomes is well on his way, but he has that's like saying, look, I'm going from New York to LA and I'm making good time through Nebraska.
Hey,
Bro,
but
we got so
that's
much
what the
journey left.
the majority believe that. With just one more win, he's there. I'm like, you're crazy. But anyway,
All right. Track is back.
yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Track came back pretty fierce this weekend.
Does anybody else feel like some of these college meets end up seeming like the Olympics? Where you're just like, that happened, and then that happened, and then that happened, and then that happened. You're just like, dude, I would like a breath, please.
Yeah.
I got to do something I haven't done in a long time. I went to a track meet and watched the whole meet. I didn't coach not a soul.
Well, since you were in the building in Lubbock, give us your takeaways.
I'll give you the Scott Van Pelt. The best thing I saw,
Yeah.
Genoa McIver
McIver.
made a collegiate record look like we should never have been talking about it.
Mm.
The collegiate record is 67 seconds. He runs 65 seconds. And I promise you, if there was anybody in the frame, he'd have ran 64 or 3. The young man came cruising through the quarter of 47.8, 47.9, and then just kept on going like like, listen, nobody's unbeatable. He stays healthy and keeps doing what he's doing, that you're going to have to run a fair piece to beat that young man in a 2-lap race. The women's sprints are going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We had a soccer player from
Tarleton State.
From Tarleton, right? We talking, ginger, Caucasian soccer player, ran 7:18, and there was no flukes to it.
7:19 converted to 22.
When did they start adding 0.03? I thought it was just 0.02.
Depends on the venue.
Depends on the venue, depends on the altitude. They added 0.04 to us at Flagstaff.
And then
0.24 to the 200.
Yeah. TCU's
400, sorry.
Fanciful freshman dropped 7. Okay, let me mess this up. Is that 7:11?
7:11.
Converted to
11 was
14.
the mark, sits at 7:13.
And again, some of these young people are not here to participate. They came to attempt to dominate. That was amazing. Like all of the sprint things were amazing to watch. Wanye McCoy had one of the worst starts he's ever had in his entire life, and then cruised to 6:53. What 3:02, 3:02, 3:03 in the men's 4x4?
Yep.
3:02, yep.
And like, again, lost on the fact that Wanye ran 65 seconds for the 600 yards. There were quite a few 68s and 69s, 67 highs, 68s, and a couple 69s in there too.
Yep.
Like folks came to Texas Tech prepared to and then executed running.
So I'm gonna put, because I was watching on the television, on the stream, and I will be accused, and rightfully so, of going full homer on this in 2 different ways. India Mayberry from TCU is a very serious problem.
Very serious.
And for just because of the dynamics that are Texas high school track, I feel like she didn't get the attention that her talent warranted in high school. She's a problem. And it's full homer because obviously she runs for TCU and Chewy is sitting here and we all root for our colleagues and our friends. But that
You're not going to steal my crescendo about the young man, though, are you? Because I hadn't got to him yet.
Oh, well, you better get on to it then, because India Mayberry is a very serious problem. But I'm going to put some extra on that one, but you go ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
Listen, Malachi Snow was an incredible, what's the word, find last year, right? We knew him because of you. You told us way before the rest of the world saw him how good he is. then the rest of the world saw it. What I'm here to tell you all is what you saw before, it will pale in comparison, time-wise and such, to what he stays healthy does this year. Because the ease with which he dropped 6'5" and 7'5", the ease with which he did both things.
That's right.
The word I would use is repeatable. Right? What Mally Snow and Wanye did in the 60, I think they could do on Tuesday in practice against nobody. Like they looked 0% pressed by anything. Coach said, execute. Let me hit the phases. Shut off the gas. Yeah, that'll work.
So they were unbothered.
Mally just happened to do that in 2 events, and he was holistically unbothered in the hurdles. The hurdles literally look like a training run.
So to that point, and yes, full-blown homer, that's my kid. He's now in the very good hands of Calvin at Texas Tech. I'm going to tell y'all right now, if Mally is healthy in March, he's going to win the 60, and he's going to win the 60 hurdles, and there's not really much anybody's going to be able to do about it.
Well, I'll take that bet.
I know you will, and a bunch of other people will too. I just hell, I've seen him up close over a year. Calvin's halfway in it. Okay? I'm telling y'all, because the most impressive thing that I saw Mally do was crash all the goddamn hurdles. The hurdling wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
So if it cleans up, if that boy runs 5 hurdles clean, whatever. Y'all call it whatever you want. I'm telling y'all, my way too early prediction is the Malachi Snow 60 hurdle double champion indoors.
Oof.
I hear you. And I think I can very easily see him winning one of those. I think the other one's going to be extremely difficult to do.
Which of the one are you claiming to be the more difficult?
The 60. And if you had seen Wanye, you would understand why I said that.
No, hey, Wanye is a problem. Wanye is a problem. I think Wanye is, in this particular example, in the 100, it's a different level of problem, right? So if you tell me it's 0 to 60, I'm gonna take Mally.
Again, like I said, I'll take that bet.
I got you.
But listen, it's not a dumb bet. I'll say that because, again, I was in the building and watched these people run. Some folks are going to have to do some things to beat those 2 young men in general. And I will say this because I don't want to be disrespectful. What's Jason's last name, Chu?
Holmes.
Jason Holmes is a problem. Full grown.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna have to come get him in the hurdles. That's all I'm gonna say.
Sure.
He's not gonna give it to anybody.
Absolutely. And we're not gonna get out of this without shouting out, because I can't tell you the last time it happened. The West Coast is currently sitting up top of the sprint list. Max Thomas, 653. David Foster at Cal, 654. No altitudes. No, none of that. Just up in Spokane, rolling out. Okay. I mean, USC had a fantastic opener. Men and women. They got 2 women in the top 5 in the 60. Johnny Blockberger opened up in 2069. Right? But I mean, Johnny Brackens opened in 7-4 in the hurdles. Like, USC came out to play, and it's indoor, so nobody really expects, the West Coast teams to be out there like that. But they clearly are motivated and care about it and are rolling right now. So, props to Cal and definitely to USC, who, opened with a bang.
Trying to think of field events. I mean, Oklahoma had triple jump.
Yep. 1675
Yeah.
national leader. I mean,
And what 793 and 789 or something like that in the long jump.
no, they had an 8 meter guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
There you go.
803 for Texas.
yep.
there was a
Yep.
574 pole vault at Tech.
Yes.
Right? So
There's a new runway in Oklahoma apparently. The
Yep.
whole Oklahoma squad out there jumping.
I will give a firsthand report next week. I will be in the Moser.
Yeah. I mean, it's
I'll let you know whether it's Goon Squad approved.
Well, here's what's clear. And there is nothing against ingenuity, is nothing against figuring out, I mean, we've had this discussion ad nauseum about having to go to other people's places, having to figure out, whether you're going to get invited to the Clemsons or the Techs or the New Mexicos of the world, figuring out schedules, stuff like that. The jumps have their own thing. And I feel like, in a way, the answer to professional jumpers' questions are being figured out in the colleges right now.
Yeah.
Okay? It's all right there for you. You buy a runway, okay? And you have your jump carnival.
Yep.
Illinois has done it, they've shown. Oklahoma just did it. I mean, school records are falling like candy right now, right?
Mhm.
In the confines of your own place. And they're pushing, and what's amazing is they're pushing the jump event to the end of the program.
Both of those meets, the Oklahoma
Okay.
meet and the Illinois meet, were
They're
both like
gathering around and they're creating, there's music,
Right.
there's,
Get the
It's an
energy going.
environment.
yes, and it's not hard to do, I mean, I've talked my former boss at Mizzou. I mean, they got a brand spanking new indoor facility. They're going to start hosting some of the best indoor meets in the state of Missouri, right? And do they have to go anywhere? No, they don't.
Listen, women's long jump is stupid right now.
It is.
Number 10 is 642.
Yep.
Yep.
Number 10.
Look.
Yep. To make it right now in the TJ, you got to go 1306, and it's week 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Really?
Crazy.
You're going to be damn near 1350 by the time that's all said and done.
So yeah, I think you can look at it from one or two ways. I prefer to look at it like, hey man, you've figured it out. You're going to get your athletes to the dance. Kudos to you.
And then we're gonna go to Virginia, and everybody's gonna jump short because we're hosting the meet in Virginia Beach.
Eek.
You know,
Ready for that.
I'm sorry. I had to. I'm sorry.
If
I
we can
mean-
get there through the marathon.
just at the end of the day, folks, we have to remember we do this to ourselves.
Listen, I'm not excited about warming up on the carpet. I'm not. I'm not excited about that.
So you don't want to fight through the marathon to come warm up on the carpet to jump on the flat runway?
No, and hell no.
Oh man. They're like, listen, at some point in time there has to be a minimum standard of operation for championships. And I think to have a championship meet, like it should be mandatory that you have an elevated runway. It should be mandatory that you have an actual warm-up area, right? They make seating requirements.
Absolutely.
They should make warm-up requirements and performance requirements.
Right. Seating requirements for a meet that don't sell out, but we don't have.
Right.
But we
A
don't
warm-up
have.
area.
Well, we'll let you warm up in the closet.
So if there was a 5-venue rotation, what would it be?
Oh, I love that question. Because
You know what? That's a really good pivot question.
No, that's a great question because unlike
5-venue
outdoor,
rotation for the national meet.
Because unlike outdoor, there are comparable elite standards of venue in our country, in our sport. That's a great question. Go.
I will submit Texas Tech.
Okay, Tech.
Oh
I
man.
mean, can we
I wanna
argue?
see
I
if
mean,
I
we
can.
can't argue against Arkansas. I don't think we can put together a list of 5 that doesn't include Arkansas.
No.
I'm trying. I'm really trying to go. I was trying to knock mine out.
So
It
each one of you give me 5.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh,
See,
jeez.
I don't know. I can give you
see,
5. I can give you some.
I was honestly trying to get it balanced, west to east.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can,
I've never
but
been to
Yeah.
Reno. I just heard what Chuck has said.
Yes, I've only heard.
Listen to me. Reno's on the list.
Okay, Chuck, give me your list.
Reno,
Mm-hmm.
Albuquerque,
Mm-hmm.
Tech,
Mm-hmm.
Arkansas,
Yep.
and see my the fifth one is the one that's gonna throw me around because I really would like to have an East Coast option.
Mm-hmm. Boston?
Boston was there's so many things to like about Boston.
Yeah.
Like I'm a city boy.
Mm-hmm.
I loved everything about Boston except the Oval.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't love the Oval.
Yeah.
So it's like if I want an East Coast option, I'm not mad at Boston. I thought they did a really good job putting it on. The the dual warm-up scenario was kind of weird, but the one on at track level is more than good enough. It's better than Arkansas. It's better than Albuquerque. I haven't been to Tech yet, but if Tech is truly just the football field, then it's better than Tech.
No, because on the football field, they actually made
There's 4 lanes.
four full length lanes.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so
Yeah.
if you give me 4, then you should be able to give me 8 with all that money. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm trying to think of other Easts. You can't do it at Clemson. You can't really do it at South Carolina, even though those tracks are elite.
Gainesville.
No, hell no.
I have no clue. I was just giving you East. I'm just
No.
giving you East.
No. Yeah,
Um,
Boston. Boston being my number 5. I want to say the new Indianapolis place, but that's not East.
Right. And so, but that would be the only one that I would have in the Eastern time zone would be the one in Indianapolis.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, most people are probably going to be like, well, why would you say that? Because I've been on it.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen and it won't be till somebody really fast, which I think they're going to have
they're
a
doing
conference
it
meet
this
there.
year.
No,
Yeah,
the Big Tens are there, so we gonna see
The Big Ten meet's going to be ridiculous.
like
They have-
USC in that building is going to be a problem.
I will tell you that it's funny because Pat gets everything he wants,
Mm-hmm.
and he got everything he wanted. I think he was just a smidgen short-sighted. The warm-up area at A&M is good, but it's not what it could be and what it should be. Like it's good enough. I think that's the right word.
Rewind. How are you even calling it good? What are you qualifying as a warm-up area?
Well, that's why I say I guess good enough because it's not short, right? It is it would definitely be too crowded.
Mm-hmm.
What are you calling the warm-up area, sir?
I know where it is.
The lanes,
Where?
It's on
the lanes against the wall behind the
lanes
the-
against the wall past
Behind-
the Rose
yeah.
area.
That is not a warm-up area. That is a 30-meter 4-lane area. That's not a warm-up area.
Okay, it's way more than 30
So,
meters, but
What they're
but
doing
that's why I
this
said
year-
it's close, right? If they had made it a real warm-up area, A&M might be like one
Governor.
of my top 3.
So when we see you on Saturday, we're gonna go ahead and walk that area out. I might even live stream it just to
Oh,
show
please do.
everybody.
Please do.
So
I'm calling it
anyways,
45.
It's probably
So-
closer to that.
I'm gonna call it 45.
so what Pat has done, his staff has done, is the indoor football facility is
Mhm.
available for warm-ups this year.
Yes.
So there will be carts, aka Budapest, not really,
Jeez. Oh,
and
God.
that are going to be rotating.
Buses.
Indoor-
He has buses.
Shuttles.
Oh, we were told carts. I didn't hear buses.
No,
part.
there are buses now.
Oh, okay, got it. So going from facility to facility,
Mhm.
you've
Yes.
just got to make the time.
Every
go back and
15
forth.
minutes. And
Yep.
we have to make time for the railroad. for the train apparently.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, see,
So
I
we
didn't
have
even know that. So no.
Well, that's why I said it's so close. Because I'm telling you this right now, the actual competitive venue, like this is going to sound crazy for me to say, it might be the best one in the country to watch track meet.
It is.
It is very nice.
It is.
There
Listen, there ain't a bad
yeah.
seat in there.
There isn't a bad
the
seat.
way they built
The
seat
horseshoe.
is,
Yeah.
no, it's great.
Yeah.
And they got real seats in parts of it. Like it was, that's what I said. Like Pat asked for and got everything he wanted, but somewhere along the line, either he forgot how much room needed to be allocated for a warm-up area, or that was like what they had, like, you know, in order to get this, you had to give up that. I don't know what it is, but
well,
they got this close.
Well,
They got this close.
Think about the former facility. We said the same thing. So he got what he wanted with the straightaway on the side. He got a practice facility, but you had to be like this to try and coach the jumps on the other side.
100%.
And your jumpers were so far away, you're like needing a megaphone to coach them, right? Well,
and they were flat.
Yes. And so, you know, I just feel like it's one of those I don't know, it's melancholy. It's because you see it. You walk in and you're going, holy crap. And then you start to pick apart the little things, and you're like, man, I know
The
he's not happy
craziest
about
part
this.
is,
And then
if you add track, seating, warm up together, right? Like,
yeah.
More than likely, the three best places in the country to do it, other than Arkansas, because we already know Arkansas is what it is, right?
Yeah.
The next three that you would for sure put on the list are all at altitude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? Like New Mexico's at a little bit of altitude, Texas Tech's at a little bit of altitude, and Reno is at altitude.
Yeah.
So this is why I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that Indianapolis produces the marks that I know that the venue can, which will force them to put in more seating and make it like a more. If you put seating anything remotely like what they have at A&M in Indianapolis, it's the best place in the country to have the meet, and it's in the middle of the country, and we have it there forever.
No.
Feeling.
What's the warm up in Indiana?
8 lanes that are the whole width of a building.
Really?
Is it 8 or is it 6? Because remember, Chu, they had only rolled out a certain number because it was just the multi.
Wait, Chu's muted for some reason.
You're muted, Chu. Or we can't hear you. Try it again. We can't hear you.
Microphone is dead. You're not muted though.
Yeah, you're not muted, but we can't hear you.
Are your headphones plugged in?
I can't hear
you got to unplug your headphones.
So while Chu figures out her technical issue,
the warm-up situation
Reno has
Indianapolis is perfectly fine.
Reno has 8 lanes of 55 meters with the space to make it 12 if they wanted to.
Wow.
They have 8 already. So
you can definitely do 8 lanes of 55 meters in Indianapolis, easily.
Okay,
there's plenty of room.
What about Spokane?
Spokane's a beautiful building. Spokane's warm up is identical to Birmingham's. They basically copied the Birmingham model.
The hallway.
When Birmingham was built, it was the standard.
Yeah,
it was the best thing. Now it's warm up wise, it's completely obsolete and it's chaos. So Spokane's a beautiful building. Straightaway's fire, just like Birmingham is. The oval is slow, and the warm up is 4 lanes underneath the stands. It's easier access than Birmingham, but it's not sufficient. No.
Okay.
If it's gonna be west, it's Reno, and it ain't close.
I mean, you could do worse than Albuquerque. I've never been to Reno, but I'm just saying, at least like if Albuquerque got it in a Western rotation, nobody would complain.
No, nobody would complain. It's just and when y'all eventually see it, you'll understand. Like Albuquerque's great. Albuquerque's dope. Albuquerque's been on my top 5 list forever.
Yeah.
No, Reno is better. It's better in every aspect.
Tall words, man.
Is USC going to Reno this year?
I don't think so.
Oh.
Because Reno just came online, right? So it's like,
Yeah,
and let's be real, like if an A&M opens a building, everybody takes notice because it's A&M.
Mm-hmm.
sure.
It's Reno. Like University of Nevada puts the meets on. Like nobody was really checking for it, right? That building next year is going to get inundated with people.
Yeah.
But no, it's Reno is my number one now.
Mm.
And like I said, if I'm thinking of a rotation, NCAA type rotation, I'm putting in the context of all things. I was trying to figure out an East Coast one. I was trying to think of a way to put A&M in there, but I knew the warm up situation at A&M was not ideal. And if you're telling me that we're doing shuttle buses, absolutely not.
Now remember though, we're talking about hosting the NCAA meet, right?
Yes.
Look, that's the middle of March. You can warm up outside,
Yes.
You know, I don't want that though. See, I don't want to have to go through all of that.
but it's right outside.
No, I
It's-
understand. And if it's warm enough, then we're good. But if it
There's a
ain't,
200
no problem.
meter.
No
Yeah.
chew, no Nebraska.
No.
Boo. Boo. Boo to the chat talking about Nebraska. Boo.
Yeah, stop. First of all, look, the one thing have you noticed? Not one track we mentioned was hydraulic because hydraulic
Mhm.
tracks are slow.
Right.
Mhm.
And that's the problem with Spokane.
That's the problem with Spokane. That's the problem with Nebraska. That's the problem
That's
with
the
all
problem
of
with
those.
Boston. That's
You
why Boston's oval. Well, make one of us the host before you do that. We're gonna lose Chewy here in a second. But no, see that's oh man. Like I really wanted Boston's oval to be the exception to the hydraulic rule. And it just wasn't.
What I don't get is like it's New Balance's building. I don't get why they didn't just put a permanent one in.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I think I literally think it's for the convenience of all the other things they do with that space. They needed to be able to have it flattened out for the other things.
I'll tell you what, the whole world is in trouble if anybody ever puts in a track like they had in Slovenia for World Championships. Because just imagine the entire track being on, like an elevated runway.
That's what Reno is. The whole
Reno doesn't sit on the floor?
No.
Oh,
What?
then yeah, that's a rocket.
No.
That's because that's what makes it fast. Like the one in Slovenia, you can walk underneath it.
Well, now I'm not saying that. Like I'm not saying
No,
that.
the one in Slovenia was in. I think what's underneath it is a basketball floor, but it's a whole scaffolding. Like the bottom of the track was roughly 8 feet above the floor. The
Yeah, no. It's not
entire
that.
thing is on top of scaffolding.
It's not that. But the Reno track. So the Texas Tech track is floor level, correct? Like you walk.
Like the track sits itself on the floor. Yes.
Correct. Okay. Reno sits on on above the floor, the whole thing. You have to step up onto the track.
Got it.
And the 60, like New Mexico, sits on a platform.
Got it.
Yeah, it rolls. Ain't no 8 feet, but man, trying to tell you. Well, we have to wait for Chewy to come back because our exiting shout out is kind of her bag.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so here's the question: what other venues, what other meets were there at this weekend? I only know predominantly about the one I saw because, like I said, I was there and watched the whole track meet for 2 days.
Well, so I mean, as far as big encompassing meets, Spokane had the meet where the West Coast people popped off.
Mm-hmm.
You had Texas Tech. Oklahoma had their small
Mm-hmm.
personal thing where they got off. NAU had a competition, right? How
Yep.
was that?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how was that?
Now, have Any of you
hard.
been?
Side's
Have
hard
any
to
of you
breathe.
been there?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I competed there.
So it's brand new Mondo on top of Mondo now.
Okay.
And it feels
Sounds like a
so
plan.
good. It is really, really nice. They're hosting the conference meet there this year. And
Big West, right?
yes. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those deals where you walk in and you're like, this is a non-power 5 or non-power 4 that's done it right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just get a sense that they're going to be okay.
Is the
Just
basketball court still in the middle?
still right there in the middle,
Yeah.
right?
300
And
meter. I feel like that's a requirement for all oversized 300 tracks that you got a basketball court in the middle.
I mean, it's the most unique facility I mean I've ever been in. You know, I mean I remember the first time going to Iowa State, and I'm like, this is a rec center. Like they're playing basketball in the middle in the infield. Like, you know, but no, it's our kids loved it. They absolutely loved it, and it was nice and chill. We broke the school record in the 400, women's 400, and the high jump, and we walk out of there unscathed. Great way to start the season.
World Athletics does not recognize your record, sir. It's not a short track.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, now that was
have we touched on these outdoor 60-meter races yet?
no. And you
Are
know,
we
what?
gonna save this for
ignoring
later?
those out of professional.
Okay. All right.
Here's what I'll say. I'm just going to say this, and we're going to move on. At no point in time should any indoor event have a win reading, negative or positive.
Right.
So we should just stop. I get fired up, and you guys already know this. I get fired up because World Athletics just makes it up as they go. We took away a world record run in a championship meet with a whole host of officials because the SEC didn't want to pay for the special blocks, i.e., put more money in, line the pockets of World Athletics.
Right.
But we will let you set a world record in the mall. We will let you set a world record in the discus out that is literally out in a field intentionally to throw wind-aided marks.
Yes.
Right? They ratified that.
That's
right. And so like at the end of the day, like, listen, man, I need goose and gander. If you got to have special blocks and only run on 200-meter tracks to break a world record indoors in the 400, I don't ever want to see any human being qualify for indoor worlds running a 60 outside.
Listen, the most annoying thing that happened to me last week was children on my team running up to me at practice talking about, Coach, did you see this? I said, what? 60 meters outdoors? I was like, I don't care. I don't want to hear nothing about that. Nothing about it.
I mean,
first of all, why is anybody surprised that Keishane Thompson ran 640 something?
Yeah.
Dude's run under 980 like 4 times.
Right. I mean, they have already Taylor Crittenden running 723 or 724 in the west coast of Australia, and they're saying that that's a 60-meter record now, right?
Yeah, insane.
And so it begs the question, right? Did all of this short track stuff come about because a couple of federations complained that we have to ship our athletes from Australia to the US or Europe to go run a 60-meter race in order for it to count?
Probably.
And World Athletics,
like
build one.
Shenanigans.
Build one. There are indoor tracks in Estonia. Build one.
Yes.
Because I'm gonna tell you like this.
Nonsense.
I'll tell you like this. If you qualify for indoor worlds running a 60-meter outdoors with a wind legal 1.6, you're gonna get your brains blown out. Like the real 60.
Listen, I just want to ask one question, then we can move on. 1.6 trailing wind outside. What does Christian Coleman run in a 60?
Oh my gosh.
620 what?
Mid probably.
right? What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
We were supposed to mess
End
with
the
her and
show
say
with
no.
your coaching carousel shout out.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
were supposed to mess with her and say no.
No.
Touche.
Electronics are good until they don't electronic anymore.
Yes.
You know, I'm back to wrap up the show, but in the carousel, which isn't a carousel because there's no spinning on this one. Flowers to Andy Sythe at Long Beach State announced his official retirement date because we already kind of knew this was coming 2 years ago when, not when, I shouldn't say this way. The announcement was that Latonya Sheffield was being elevated. And so the inquiring mind said, well, where's Andy Sythe going? So we now know he's officially retiring at the end of July. So did a lot of good things at Long Beach State, has done a lot of good things, will be doing a lot of good things until July. It's there for a really long time. 35 years is life.
35 years is a long
literally lifetimes of
time.
some of these coaches who are out there right now. So, kudos to you. It's been fun to be on campus while you're doing all those things. Knowing what you did at that time, knowing some of your alumni has been cool. So, good stuff.
And built a world class accredited facility at a mid-major program.
Yep.
Yep.
I mean,
And it does not
Will
disappoint.
Clay's lifetime PB in the triple jump was set at Long Beach State.
Yep.
First year of existence, the year it opened up.
And their track is the least non-power 4 thing you've ever seen in your entire life. That venue is gorgeous.
It's amazing. That light gray really hits.
That venue is gorgeous.
It is.
So, with that said, I came back just in time to tell you bye. So, everyone have a great week. Travel safe, and we'll do this again next week. Bye now.
Peace.